And then I find a ground. Let's see if my ground is. Probably have someone carry my box over here because I don't think I can reach. Nope, I can't reach. So let's do this. Okay. So pin 62, and it says go to ground. So I will do this. And it's open. Assuming that's a good ground. Okay. So what does it say on step 6 if it's open? Were any shorts or wiring defects found? Yes. So it tells me to go to step 8. You see how this works? I'll walk you through it. So step 8. Now I know this is going to be open because we don't have a service brake status switch on this bus, on this particular mock-up. So I just got to disable that code. So step 8 says, oh great, the OEM responsible for the harness, call them. So call OEM. So I would probably investigate this further by getting a set of schematics out of the OEM manual and finding this wire and start checking it in greater details, finding all the connections and finding out possibly I got a bad connection somewhere. But this kind of gives you an idea how this breakout box works. So this is all the pins that are on here. The advantage is I'm standing up looking at this. I'm not sitting here squatting and counting slots. Okay, third row, 6 over from the left, and then putting my probe in there. Higher probability of error. Here I'm looking at 62. It's not hard. And it go to ground. Normally most guys will take and they'll have a gator clip on a known good ground with the exposed wire, so they have it hanging right here. They just walk themselves across the boards. Okay. Some troubleshooting steps will be 14, 18 steps. You'll be going to various holes on the board, various terminals, checking various components. And some steps will have you, put your meter in pin 57 and pin 38 and put the vehicle in drive and check for voltage, and looking at the data list, did SS1 exhaust when the vehicle was put into drive? Okay. Did that happen? No. Go to the next step. Put a jumper wire between pin 45 and 37 and then check pins 72 and 79. Is there continuity? Well, I don't know. Put the jumper wire in. We'll go to 72, 79. No. Okay. Put a pin in pin A of the connector of the sensor. Ground it. Go to ground with the meter and put your other lead in pin 61. Is there continuity? No. Wire 152 is open. Okay. Or yes, there's continuity. Okay. Put your lead in pin 70 and go to ground. Oh, wire 163 is open. Oh, okay. There you go. So having this saves you from having. You could do the same thing because it gives you the pin locations if you don't have a breakout box. And for us, fortunately, our transmission ECM is fairly easy to get to. It's on the top of the battery box when you open the curbside door. Or at least it used to be. I think it's still there. Okay. Yeah. Now, if I were able to pull open the laptop, you have some action requests that you can do. On the ribbon across the top, it says test, action requests. I can go down and I can physically place the vehicle in any gear I want. Clutch test. And it'll have a strip. It'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You put the vehicle in drive. Okay. And using that test and the breakout box, I can check for the presence of continuity or voltage at the sensor or at the solenoid. So what I would do is I would use the other overlay. I would take and reconnect this and I would connect my 20-pin connector into the transmission. It's here somewhere, I thought.
It's on the floor, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
Did it fall? Yes, I am. Thank you. So this
Just go a little bit.
fits in here. Okay? So I would simply connect one end of the transmission, the other end of the harness. So now I still have full control of the harness with the touch pads, but now I have access to all the connections here. So if I suspect that I had a bad harness for a particular clutch or a bad solenoid, I would simply go to clutch test, put it in a range that uses the solenoid I suspect is bad, and then check for voltage at the solenoid here on the box and see if it's there. If it's there, then I suspect I've got a bad solenoid. I would turn off the bus, turn off the electricity, and then I would check ohms and measure the resistance in the solenoid. Now, one thing you have to be aware of when you're doing that is how hot is the oil. Why is that important? What's that?
It affects resistance.
It affects resistance. So if I've got a bus that's just come off the road and it's at or near operating temperature, I'm going to look up in the book, and there's probably some solenoid codes in here, and it would tell me if the oil's at or near a specific value, say 200 degrees, then your ohm range, your resistance should be 5 to 900, let's say, 500 to 900. So knowing how hot the oil is, I go to my specified pins for that particular solenoid as spelled out in the book, and I would check the resistance. If it's excessively high, then I know that that solenoid has to be replaced. It's all done off of here using this particular overlay. So I'm looking for one here. Now this is the one I had to troubleshoot. PCS3, okay, here we go. Pressure control solenoid 2, and I'll just read these to you because we're running a bit out of time. Turn the engine off. Put this overlay on your breakout box. Okay? Step 6 tells you check resistance chart for the temperature. So we would go to the chart, and this would all be linked on the laptop. It would be hyperlinked, so I could click on the chart and it would take me right to the chart instead of looking for it in the book. Okay? Then it tells me install the 20-pin connector and check the values between pins 9 and 4. So I would put this on my breakout box with this connected. Knowing the temperature, I would simply take my meter on the breakout box and go to pins 9 and 4 and measure the resistance. Engine's off, master switch is off. Now I'm checking the resistance in the wiring and in the solenoid. It's going to give you steps for checking the wiring and checking the solenoid. If it comes up excessive, we found our problem. Again, this can be done without the breakout box. The drawing in the manual tells you where pins 9 and 4 is at, so you can sit down there and squint, try and find it, and get it done. Or, now this would be a little bit more difficult in the bus because this connector is kind of touched up between the transmission and the frame rails, but it can be done. And you only have to do it once, and then you can run a myriad of tests simply using the overlay and the instructions in the breakout box or in the troubleshooting manual. And it's simple. Is it there? Yes. Is it there? No. Oh, no, go to this step. Yes, go to this step. And at some point, it's going to tell you fix wire 152, fix pin connector, or our favorite, call Allison. We good? All right. Gears up in the room if you left it. Go ahead and grapple it up. And we will see you Wednesday for the test. Yay. Yay for me.
Thank you.